say a few things. But how are you today? Are you in good voice?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. There's 100 people here already, which is brilliant for a sunny Sunday in Leicester. Now, what is going on? I can Stop New Normal Save Lives, one of the many campaigns, but we're uniting around the slogan, Our Movement. And this is an Our Movement Leicester rally. And that means we unite together to stop this imposition of these evil, draconian, new normal rules. Now, resistance around the country is going up and up. We're getting bigger and bigger numbers, and people are responding. But the people on the other side are, of course, getting desperate, which is why we see more stories in the newspapers. But first of all, about Leicester, I was here on the day the first lockdown here started, and that was a trial lockdown, really. As far as I can see, it's achieved nothing, even in their terms, apart from making businesses go bust. Am I right? Absolutely. So they probably say there's a success in, maybe they've had one death a week, and now they've had one death every fortnight. But you see, these deaths, they make them up anyway. A lot of people die in Leicester every day. There's 1,700 people die in the United Kingdom every day. And when they want to up the ante and claim that there's more COVID deaths, they just label people with COVID deaths. So, even in their own terms, they've achieved nothing. Nothing in Leicester by a lockdown. But the purpose of the lockdown isn't anything you can measure like that. The purpose of the lockdown is a psychological attack to regiment you and make you obey the next lockdown and carry on, so they run down the businesses even more. So people say, well, why would Boris Johnson want to run down little businesses? Well, the answer is the mega corporations want that because they want your wages down, they make more profits, and these small businesses are replaced by mega corporations. Look around us, what do we see? McDonald's, Burger King, Virgin Money, Parkland Warehouse. All of these are mega corporations, and they all pay low wages. See, the only way the Wall Street mega corporations can redeem their falling rate of profit is by attacking you and destroying the middle classes. And Boris Johnson is not on your side, he's against you, as indeed all the political parties are. They're against you. They're working in the interest of the mega corporations. And for the Chinese government, of course, this is fine. They've had a little bit of lockdown, but that's it. So their economy's booming while the West is being crushed, or crushing itself. But in the long run, of course, the mega corporations hope they can regain everything by having you in poverty wages. That's what it's about. But to do that, they're going to have a strong state to control you. And what's happening in Australia is just the beginning of what could happen here. And I want to thank that lady who spoke earlier. Yes. Thank you very much. Quick round of applause. You see, what they have here, and it started off in Leicester, they wanted to propagate contagion fear more and more. They said, look, black Islam women in Leicester are working too close together in the sweatshops, that's why there's a danger of more COVID. Now the doctors said, we had unofficial doctors saying, there's nothing happening at all, there's no new cases, it's a complete lie. But it's a good story, you see. So you then walk around Leicester thinking, oh my God, there's a black Islam woman, Shahayo! Stay away. She's contagious. That is the idea, contagion fear. And Hitler got to power, remember this,
that's correct,
in using contagion fear. The Jews were contagious fear, so they had to be locked up and sent to work camps. And the rest is history. And one should know that the trade unions in Germany supported Hitler.
Yes, they did.
He was the National Socialist movement. And they believed that after Hitler would be outer, or Hitler would give us concessions. And the Brown Shirts did Hitler's bidding. On June the 30th, 1934, hundreds of the trade union leaders in Germany were murdered in the night of the long night. And after that, Hitler relied only on the mega corporations. Krupp, the makers of tanks, which is something you need in war, they made billions. Now the rest is history. But the lesson there is, well, the trade unions betrayed then, and you have to demand your trade unions now and your MPs support us. Now, in this contagion fear, what they're saying is black people are more likely to get COVID. Because they say, if you ask them, oh, they got lack of vitamin D. Okay. But you see, white people staying indoors going pale are also short of vitamin D. So what the government should have said is, we're going to hand out vitamin D tablets instead of masks. That's what they should have said. But they didn't. Instead they said, that black person next to you could be more contagious than anyone else. So stay away from them. It is divide and rule. That is the history of British imperialism. So we say, unite, not divide. But I think we should chant that. Unite,
not divide. Unite, not divide. Unite, not divide.
Okay, now some of you heard about what happened in Sheffield last weekend. Difficult to hide from it. And
I was there.
you were there, one of our heroes. Give him a round of applause. He was wrestling with, no, I can't say he was wrestling. He happened to be nearby. He was resisting in his mind, if not his body. Well, he was probably resisting in many ways. Let's leave it at that, shall we? This has been recorded, I dare say. Anyway, the police tried to get me, and we had two victorious struggles, one at the doors of Marks and Spencer's and one in the street where they tried to get me, and were surrounded by people, and we got away. But the third time they came along with more police and horses, cornered us in the shop front and took me away and held me for 23 hours and 53 minutes. And then they tried to impose a bail condition of I'm not allowed to demonstrate in the whole of the United Kingdom until my trial on the 3rd of November.
That is sir.
Well, yes. Now, we were going to contest this, and my solicitor was on his way to Sheffield Court, and he got a phone call on the train from a senior person in the Crown Prosecution Service who said, it's okay, you needn't come to court, we're going to give you unconditional bail now. So they gave up. Yes, you can hear that. The authorities realise that now we've got such a high profile because of our numbers on the street that they won't be able to impose these things. That is a massive victory. And then I appeared in Cardiff a few days later, not a policeman in sight. In Birmingham yesterday, not a policeman in sight. So actually, well, this is the calm before the storm maybe, but they are stepping back because the more they attack us, the more we fight back and the more support we get. And I'll give you an example. And by the way, yes, there were 3 other people arrested and there was one guy who was injured and hospitalised. So we, the movement, you, our movement, will defend to the end the Sheffield 5 and any health workers or anybody victimised under this COVID oppression. So, cheer that please.
Yay!
Now, to fight back, anything they do, we have to redouble the attack on them. I remember in the 1970s when I was involved in squatting, taking empty properties and using them, we were getting a lot of evictions in Maida Hill, that's near Maida Vale in Westbourne, near Westbourne Park, London. We started the slogan, 1 eviction, 2 squats. Every time they evicted us, we took over 2 more properties. And it wasn't long before the authorities gave up, and 5 years later, the GLC gave tenancies to 10,000 squats. That was because we fought back. Okay, and we have to do the same now. You should applaud that one as well. So the mainstream media are getting scared. So we remember that. We double our defiance under every attack. The mainstream media are now going berserk trying to divide us, you know, fake news is out about this and that, and of course there are different things going on. It's a complicated, big movement now with many things. But the Times will do everything to divide us. However, interestingly, on the question of what's happening on the 26th of this month or the 19th, they said the 26th is the one which has a celebrity feel. So I'd urge you, come to London on the 26th of this month to join the celebrity feel with me and David Icke in a mass rally in Parliament, near Parliament, a mass rally in Trafalgar Square, the rally of the century to prepare the way to demand the MPs do not renew the COVID legislation in the following week, the end of this month. And if they refuse, then we will go to remove them one by one from office for failing us. And in the meantime, you've got to go round your neighbourhoods, give out leaflets. We're giving them out now, take leaflets here. Explain to people that the COVID story is a hoax. And I have here a leaflet, a newly printed full-colour leaflet, but you might only get the black and white version. But there we have, full-colour leaflet. It's a hoax. Now, how can we be so sure it's a hoax? Because they got 24/7 propaganda. Well, of course, that's a bit of a clue. Why do they need 24/7 propaganda for something which is true? Well, what we say about that is just look at the facts. Don't have enough sellotape. Well, we know that the actual lockdowns don't work. We know that in Sweden they didn't have a lockdown and they got less cases under the official figures. Now, the official figures are all lies anyway, but they had equal amount of lying in Sweden or here. So we know they actually don't work. And in fact I would say we know there's no justification in any terms for any more lockdowns or measures against COVID so forth. No justification in any terms. Now, we know, for example, in March, they said it was going to be 3 weeks, a 3-week lockdown and we'll all be happy. It's now September.
Do you know why? Here's the answer. Why are you...
Oh, I thought he was talking. Okay. We've had these impositions in Leicester and they're going to be lifted a bit. But, you know, whatever they're doing, we just say, don't do it. We know that the figures they give, some of them are 90% false. They claim COVID illness is going up. It's because they're testing more people. They're tracking you, they're tracing you, they're phoning people up saying about your test, sir or madam. Well, that's bullshit. Just say no, no, no. Doctors in UK, Germany, America have all said there's no evidence for an actual virus. There's no evidence for a special virus. There are doctors around who said there's a normal flu around, and there's other doctors who say, well, of course there's things like 5G, which we'll come to later. But Professor Kirkwood from Wolverhampton, he said that if there is a virus, it's done its work anyway. It's all over now. There's no point in any more lockdown. The only point of a lockdown now is to prepare for another lockdown, to make up another story. They're going to say we'll have bubonic plague. They'll make up stories. The next lockdown excuse will be more fake than the first. And it will rest upon more contagion here. And now they're attacking young people. They're saying young people are spreading it. They haven't even got it. No, it's an attack on young people because young people are getting more mobilised. We say to young people, turn off your television, stand up for your future with us.